Hi, Year 4. How are you? This week I'm going to start with celebrating your homework. I would like to mention Margot from Hudson class for creating very vivid illustrations for Varjapur and Oliver and the Seawigs. And Rosa has made her own video in which she explains how the water cycle works. Well done, Rosa. And from Rio Grande, Mr. Sheffield says, well done to Orson. Orson, you've used some great creative language in your writing. And Sylvia? Sylvia, you've worked hard to include particular features in your writing. Well done. This Wednesday, Miriam is going to turn 9. Miriam, I hope you have a fabulous day. Please send your wishes to Miriam using to email on Purple Mash to help her celebrate her special day. Now, this week, we will be looking at Pags of the Frozen North by Philip Reeve and Sarah McIntyre. First, I'm going to read this extract, and I would like you to answer the following questions. What's happening in this extract? Who are the central characters? Can you summarize what you've just heard in a few sentences? Do you like this extract? How does it make you feel? What do you think true winter would look like? The town of Snowdovia was built in the same style as the Pole of Ice, on stilted platforms along a fjord edge. But unlike the Pole of Ice, it was full of life and bustle. People lined the balconies outside their homes to watch as the adventurers who meant to race to the top of the world came sledding into their fjord. From all over the north they came. True winter had not arrived completely without warning, not for people who knew what to look for, not for people who had been eagerly waiting for the first flake of magical snow to fall. They had been preparing for weeks, and now that the ice had come, they were ready. At Limpertville Institute of Technology, Professor Shackleton Jones had known about the coming winter by the excited way the northern lights made his particle detectors ping. He was determined to reach the top of the world using the power of science. He and his robot companion Snowbot swept into Snowdovia on a carbon fiber sled so strong and lightweight that it was barely there at all. On a lonely island not far from Snowdovia, Helga Hammerfest had learned of the big freeze by watching the flight of geese and the way the spiders spun their cobwebs. She had raided her sled and harnessed up her team. No dogs for Helga, just her 2 pet polar bears, Snowdrop and Slush Puppy. She was the local favourite, so she got an extra big cheer when her snow bears came lumbering up to the starting line. Sir Basil Sprout Dumpling heard of the freeze from his butler, Sideplate, who had been keeping watch on the weather forecast. 10 minutes later, they were at the airport, loading Sir Basil's sled and pedigree dog team aboard an aeroplane. Sir Basil's father had been the first to reach the top of the world last time true winter came. He had met the Snow Father and had his wish granted, which was to be ridiculously rich. He had gone back to England with a fortune in rubies, sapphires and diamonds, but Sir Basil had spent it all. If we don't beat these riffraff to the pole, Sideplate, he said as they drew up to the starting line, I shall have to sell off the old stately home. I mean to win this race, even if I have to cheat like an absolute bounder. Yes, Sir Basil, said Sideplate sadly, holding his bowler hat on tight and wishing he'd worn warmer underwear. But if I may say so, Sir Basil, I do hope cheating won't be necessary. Sir Basil wasn't listening. I say, he cried, for the pink sled that just pulled up next to him held none other than Mitzi von Prim, most glamorous of all the racers. How embarrassed her team of huskies looked clipped like poodles and dyed pink to match Mitzi's stylish racing outfit. Okay. Task number 1, I'm going to read these questions again for you to think. What's happening in this extract? Who are the central characters? Can you summarize what you've just heard in a few sentences? Do you like it? How does it make you feel? What do you think true winter would look like? Task 2. Listen to the extract again and draw what you see in your imagination. Task number 3. You have a few questions to answer. I'm just going to read the first 2. Why do you think this race is taking place? What tells you this? What words best describe what the town is like at race time? Task number 4. Imagine that you can take part in the race. What equipment would you take? Can you design your own sled? What would be your strategy to win the race? If you like, you can look for some images of the equipment you might take with you, or you can also Google some images of sled, what it looks like, to help you design your own one. Task number 5. Take on the role of sports commentator and describe the start of the event in writing. If you like, you can watch the beginning of this TV clip from Wipeout, from a Total Wipeout, and listen to the commentator. And what is it about this video that is so interesting and exciting? What is about the way he comments? And remember that in your writing, you can explain the rules, introduce the contestants, and what they will win. You can tell the reader about what challenges they will need to overcome, and finally, describe the start of the race. Good luck, and see you next week.